So, something that's always been in the back of my mind when I really dove into content creation or even just my other businesses was what if I never make it? Quote unquote, make it. Like, what if I put all this time, energy, and money and this just isn't for me? Like, it's not what I was meant to do. You hear all about these like overnight success stories. Someone just blows up, goes viral, and they just instantly hit it off. They always say it takes 10 years to be an overnight success because, the work that you've been putting in has been preparing you for this. And it only takes that like one trigger to really take it over the edge. And as much as I want to say, like, oh, that doesn't matter, people will tell you, oh, don't compare yourself to other people. Comparison is the thief of all joy. And yes, I get that. But also, seeing how you stack amongst your peers, I think is important. You don't want to be completely delusional and just doing something that clearly isn't working. We all know people that are just like constantly butting heads with themselves and trying to make something work when, in reality, it's probably not in their best interest. And I'm constantly like taking a step back. I was like, okay, I've been at this for a while. Am I like so fucking stubborn that I can't see past my own kind of, rose colored glasses? Or am I just putting in the appropriate amount of work and just kind of hustling and doing what I got to do? Let's say, for example, I've been making content since 2014. That is just over 10 years. And I have never once had a single video go viral. I don't think I've ever had a video pass like, I don't know, a couple 100,000 views. I am fully aware that my content isn't this like ultra viral, like super shareable thing. I love that about my content. It's that I can just like literally sit in my living room and just chat with you guys and kind of just talk through how I'm feeling and more so how I'm developing as a person and kind of sharing what I'm learning with you guys as it's literally happening in real life. But it's like, yeah, I've been grinding at it. I've been posting at least 1 to 3 to 7 videos per week for the past, 10 years, other than this like past year where, I really took a step back and thought about what I was doing. I was like putting in the work. And Ryan, my partner, when he first started doing YouTube, a few videos in, he had a video that hit 1 million views. Super exciting, but it's like, holy shit. Like, maybe I'm just not cut out for this. Maybe I don't have the personality. Maybe I don't have the skills. Maybe I don't have the face for it. There's that story about Casey Neistat where it took him like 10 years of constant grinding and filmmaking to get his like viral video. And he's absolutely killing it. Obviously, Casey is a unicorn, absolutely skilled in what he does. And it makes sense that his like hard work will pay off at that scale because he is so incredibly talented. So it's like, okay, that's not going to be me. I love the more chill, laid back, day to day. As we all know, case study number 2, Emma Chamberlain, super relatable, low key, and also took off. She is also another unicorn. It's like, there are different cases where either your relatability, your talent, your skill sets will take you places. But it's like, damn, I am just so mediocre and average. Maybe average is like a better word in every single aspect that even though I have been doing it for over a decade, the content I create is probably not going to reach the scale that I guess people expect of a YouTuber that's been at it for 10 plus years. So I've come to a point where I'm kind of thinking over like, hey, I did put in the time, I did put in the work. Is this really for me? And I think a lot of people can relate, not just for YouTube and content creation, but just like your work life and just kind of your passions in general. But I think the most amazing part about everything is that making it is so subjective. Like for a lot of people, making it as a content creator might be, being able to do it as a side hustle, get a bit more cash flow going in. That's making it as a content creator for them. For other people, it may be doing it full time. I've been doing full-time content creation for the past 5 years now. So to them, I've quote unquote made it. Is my definition of making it as a creator having a viral video? Is it having like exponential growth, which I have never had? It has just been a slow, consistent climb for the past decade. And I think because of that, I've been able to curate such a tight community, and just like people just get it. Like, you guys get it. Whereas if I had like one viral spike and like a whole bunch of people that didn't really know me or kind of flooded the channel, I think it would be it'd just be a different vibe. So it's like, I'm thinking, why is my quote unquote making it as a creator having a viral video when I know that's not going to do me any good? It's probably not going to do the channel in the long run any good. But it's like, I'm trying to prove something to myself, is that I can reach this level of reach. Did I say reach twice? Anyways, you get what I'm saying. I remember when I told my mom, I'm like, I don't want a 9 to 5. Like, I don't want something that is consistent. I don't want to be doing the same thing over and over. And I remember my mom saying a 9 to 5 is her dream. She would absolutely kill to work 9 to 5, because at that time, I mean, she still is working as a cook, but she was doing like double shifts where she was working like 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., like nonstop, go on her feet. So for her, the mundane kind of being bored of your work would have been a luxury. So if you're working in a corporate setting and you feel that, oh, like I'm not doing anything with my life, everything's the same thing over and over again, having the capacity to be bored with your work is an absolute luxury. It's a luxury that not a lot of people have. It's a luxury that most first-generation immigrants cannot afford. Obviously, you want to aspire to, something more or something bigger. But I think putting it into perspective is very important. Comparing my parents to myself, it's like I have the privilege of choosing not to go into this line of work purely for my enjoyment, right? Purely for my kind of selfishness. I want to push for something that's different versus, my parents don't have a choice. They don't speak English. Their skill sets never transferred over. So they are like busting their asses working these grueling, laborsome jobs. For them, working a 9 to 5 is making it. I think I was in my second or third year of university, and I was chatting with my roommate Sam back then. And I was like, I don't think I want to do like personal training. I said I want to create, content out of my own volition with the videos that I want to do. And he's like, oh, sounds like you want to be a YouTuber. And I was like, yeah, it sounds like it. And then that was my goal. For me, being a YouTuber was making it, and I did it. And I have been doing it full time for the past 5 years. So it's like, why do I still have this thought of like, okay, wait, I'm not like a successful YouTuber yet because I haven't had a viral video. Like, I haven't had a piece of my work blow up. At the end of the day, it just comes down to comparing yourself to others. Like, because I am fully doing and have been doing what I intended to do. Like, this was my making it, and I've made it. But obviously with success, and once you've hit your goals, the next logical thing is to pick a higher goal, aiming for like the bigger, the shinier thing. I think for me, that's why I was, trying to do so many different things. That's why I wanted to dabble in so many other businesses and opportunities. I think I was just kind of like scared that like, okay, my content isn't really going to ever make it, in that traditional aspect. Let's try other things so that I can kind of make it in that regard. Maybe the coffee shop will blow up and be this like big thing that my content could never be. Obviously, I just kind of stretched myself way too thin, was taking on way too many different projects, and I kind of just had to stop. And I think after doing that and just kind of considering like, why am I doing this? Why am I like this? Like, I'm trying to prove myself. I'm trying to prove to my parents, my peers, that I can make it in like a traditional way. But in reality, I've made it. Like the amount of content creators that are doing it full time, I think is like less than 1%, if not less than 0.5% of all creators. And especially like making a certain amount is even less than that. So I've made it, 2015, 2016, Joe, myself would be so proud. Like, damn, I can't believe you're actually doing it. Like, you're a full-time YouTuber and you have a coffee shop and you came out to your parents. Like, I am fully doing more than I could have ever thought that I would have done. So it's like, where does this like constant like itch kind of come from? And yeah, I think it just, I don't know, I just kind of had to take a step back, put everything into perspective, and just understand that, making it is 100% subjective. And I've already made it. There's such a fine line between like pursuing for greater things, like pushing for more. And I am obviously all for that. But I do think that amount of pressure, it just needs to be like spread out a little bit. Like you can't be going at that intensity because you'll eventually just implode. If you're working a very mundane, boring kind of 9 to 5 corporate environment, you've made it. To my parents, you are living their dream. So be proud of that. Like you have made it. It's just wild because like your perspective on things is influenced by the people around you, but then the people around you, if you compare yourself to them too much, it's like this dual-edged sword, if that kind of makes sense. But, obviously with anything, the right amount of stimulus is needed to elicit the correct response. My exercise physiology professor would be very proud. So just, give yourself enough stimulus. But yeah, that was just something I've been thinking. It's a very gloomy, rainy day. Hope you enjoyed chatting with me. And yeah, take care. Be nice to yourself.